Alright, muchachos, we're going to do problem 7.01, who taller? Alright, so I already have it downloaded and opened up in DrRacket. So this problem has two subproblems, problem A and problem B. Let's just get started with problem A and give myself some space here. Alright, so it says design a compound data definition to model properties of people. Call it person. And here's some data of the people we want to model. Alright, and some of their properties. Alright, so pause the video and try to work through this on your own. I'm going to go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so I'm going to assume that you guys took a good swing at it. So first we're going to write the define struct because we're dealing with compound data. So define struct, we want to model persons, and they have first name, a last name, and a height in this context. Alright, and next is a type comment on how to make one. So person is make person. And these parameters are going to be a string for the first name. The last name is also going to be represented by a string. And height is going to be represented by a natural number, all right, because it can't be negative. So next is the interpretation. How do we interpret these pieces of data? So first name, kind of self-explanatory here. First name means first name, right? Let's just abbreviate these. So FN and LN. So there we go. So FN means first name, and then LN means last name. And height is kind of self-explanatory, but the measurement isn't, right? It's in centimeters, right? And what do you mean height? Is it height in inches, centimeters, whatever? So height means height in cm. All right. So I think that's, let's see, first step done. So next is the interpretation done. What are all the accessor functions? All right, so we have person-fn, which is going to assume a person, and produce a string. The last name also. So there we go. And then the height. So ln also produces a string, but the height produces a natural number. All right, just to remind ourselves that we have these functions available. All right, so that is writing all the accessor functions down. All right, to remind ourselves that we can use them. Next are some data examples. So I'm just going to use this table right here as a set of examples. So define, say Joe is going to be make person Joe Smith, and then the height is 100. All right, gonna copy and paste this for the other people we're going to make. So Lisa, Sue is 120. And then Jack Lee is also 120. All right. I'm going to rename these variables here. And Jack. All right. So that is the data examples done. Good scaffolding for when we need to do the test on the functions. Next is a function template that processes this data. All right. So we're going to need, let's see, person-temp pn. So we want to probably take apart some of the field. So let's just write all these selectors just to remind ourselves and build a good foundation for problem B. All right, so person-fn is going to take in the given person and get its first name out. Same with the last name, right? And then the age. All right. And, you know, as you program more, you'll know exactly what exact pieces you need to take out. But for now, we're just having you do these steps, so that, you know, we're building a good foundation and everything's just laid out. So you can, all the pieces are here just laid out in front of you. So you can just piece together the solution very easily. All right. But anywho, that is data done. All right. Now let's move on to functions. So problem B, let's see what it is. All right. So design a function who taller that consumes two persons and produces the first name of whoever is taller. Right? If both are the same height, produce the second person's first name. All right, so let's start with the HTTF recipe. As always, pause the video and try to work this on your own. I'm gonna go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So we're gonna need a who taller function, and it's consume two person, so person, and then produce the name of the first name of the person who is taller. So that's gonna be a string. All right, so purpose statement. I'm just going to copy this down. It's a bit kind of obvious here. And wait a second. produce the first name of whoever is taller, right? If equal, produce the second given person's name. All right. So signature, purpose, stub, right? So to find who taller, it's going to take in two people, right? So I'm going to call it PN, and then PN1, and then PN2. No, I'm just going to leave the first PN, just not without a number. All right, so PN and PN2. And it has to produce a string, so let's just use this dummy value. All right, next are some examples. So check, expect, who taller. All right, so let's see, we had Joe and Lisa. So Lisa is taller than Joe. So this should produce the string Lisa, right, with a capital L. There we go. So who is taller among, let's see, let's flip these two around, right? So, you know, Lisa is the first argument, Joe is the second argument. It still should be Lisa, all right? So make sure, you know, no matter what order. All right, let's just keep going. Lisa and Jack, let's compare these two people. All right, so who's taller out of these two? Right, well, they're equal, right? Lisa is 120 centimeters and so is Jack, right? So that means that, you know, if they're equal, that's what it says in the problem statement, right? They're both the same height, produce the second person's first name, right? So this is the second person that we're passing in, so it should be Jack in this instance. So it should be Jack's name. All right, and likewise, if we were to flip this and say that Lisa is the second given person, like so, it would be Lisa. All right, so those are the examples done. Let me just mark myself done for those steps. So signature, purpose, stub done, examples are done. Right, template from data, So it looks like we can use the template from data. We've got to make some adjustments though, because this takes in one person, but this one takes in two people, right? So this is what it's going to look like, right? So we take apart the fields of the first person with PN. We also got to do so for the second person, right? So PN2. So we're going to copy these selectors and then paste them down. And we're going to say, hey, we want to probably use the first name of the person 2, last name of the person 2, and the age of the person 2 also in this solution. All right, we may not use them all, but we're just laying out a good foundation. All right, just laying out all the puzzle pieces. So that's the new template. I'm going to comment this out because next is the code body. All right, so really try to pause the video now. This should be all the mental scaffolding needed to solve this problem. I'm just going to leave the template there for, you know, your guys' purposes. All right, I'm going to name this 2 taller. All right, so again, pause the video and try to work the problem on your own. We go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so hopefully you guys gave it a good swing. So let's see, produce the first name of whoever is taller. So we're going to compare their, age. This is not age, this should be height. Kind of messed up here, but it's fine. Would have got a crash, I just kind of realized that. Always good to make mistakes on stream, in the recording. All right, so we're gonna compare their heights. All right, so if let's see, the first person is taller, so we're gonna say if, let's say, the first given person's height is greater than the second person's height, right? So there we go. We're gonna use those two pieces, right? It says produce the first name of whoever is taller, right? So if the first person is taller, we're going to produce their first name. So we don't really need their last name in this problem, so we're going to delete that. All right, otherwise produce the first name of the second person if that person is taller. All right, so this looks good enough. Let's try to run it through our test and see if there's anything wrong. And no, all 4 tests pass. All right. So now let's Control I to re-indent everything. All right, looks all good. And let's submit it through Handin. I highly recommend you run this through the stepper if you don't understand what's going on. All right, so it's going to be who taller. Going to hand that in and run it through the server-side tests and hope that we didn't miss any cases. Refresh this page. There we go. There we go. So 2 and you. And who taller? We have 3 out of 3. All right. Thank you for watching, He-Man. If you wish to interact with more of your kind, join our Discord linked in the description or on screen. If you want to aid in my quest for world domination, consider hitting the sub button. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, thumbs down if you didn't. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, fire away below. Also, check out the annotations on screen for the next relevant video.